Okay. Well, I want to welcome everyone who is here today and all of those people who are going to be listening to our recording at another time. I'm Marian Palmer, and my previous life, I was a kindergarten teacher. I've always been fascinated with science and health and wellness. And I love to hear about the stories that we're going to be hearing today. Ruth and Darleen and Dr. Cairns are going to be sharing some of the Asea stories that they're aware of. There are just thousands of them. What we do is incredibly important. So I just love to. I'm going to turn it over, not spend a lot of time because I'll share a little bit more at the end. And so Ruth, I'm going to hand it over to you. And I think you've got a slide that you would like to see.
Yes.
Yes, I'll put that slide up now, Ruth. Is that good? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is a testimony from Beth Wofford, who is a thoroughbred horse trainer. And this horse came in one morning with a 4-inch long jagged wound, too late to stitch it up. So, and also the wound was too tender to apply the gel, so she sprayed Redox liquid on it several times a day. And as you can see, the progress of the healing. The photos are taken at 24 hours, 5 days, 10 days, and at 16 days. And it was absolutely amazing. This horse experienced healing at a fraction of the time that this type of wound usually takes.
Is there any questions from Ruth about this injury that this horse suffered? I will tell you, those usually, I've had several of those take a while to heal. That's amazing, Ruth. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. And next to you, Darleen.
Okay. I'm going to talk about the fabulous Rosie. She is kind of our role model for this skincare, but she actually started with Asea Redox because she wasn't feeling well. Her son had introduced her to the Redox, and then over the course of time, as she's taking the Redox, he also took pictures, and as you can see, the progression from even in just 7 weeks was quite incredible. And then a couple years later at 86 and then progressing clear to 91, she actually looks younger at 91 than she did at 84. So Rosie has become our model of health, as she has aged beautifully. And Ruth, I'm going to let you do the next video.
Okay.
I'll pass it over to you.
Okay. So I'd like to welcome and invite you to watch this short video with us to learn more about a technology that has had remarkable benefits in my life, and that is changing the face of health on a global scale.
Oops, let me go back here. Just a moment. Just a minute, I got to move you guys out of the way a second. I'll get this bigger. There we go. Okay, here we go.
It's the key to life. It makes it possible for us to get out the door, challenge ourselves, and find joy. There are few things more important than our health. Throughout history, there have been breakthroughs in health technology that have made our lives longer, more vibrant, more joyful. Breakthroughs that have fundamentally changed how we think, learn, and live.
This is where the future lies. And this is why redox chemistry and supplements that employ this are so powerful. They literally turn on and turn off, signal every single process in every living cell. And to be able to stabilize a product that allows us to replenish that is just a phenomenal breakthrough.
This has the capability to change the landscape of the healthcare system as we know it.
What if one of the biggest breakthroughs in health technology was actually something small? A breakthrough technology that works at the cellular level, where health begins.
This truly is a transformational technology.
It's an elegant and very simple product that's having a profound impact. When people ask me what I'm most excited about, it's the fact that we own the space of Redox right now.
A health technology so unique and cutting edge that it is transforming health at a foundational level and changing lives all over the world.
I started using the product and I could see that it was real. It was a real deal. And the way it changed my life was absolutely mind-blowing.
Asea was something truly special. It was unique.
It has had tremendous impact on my life.
You know, sometimes you just have that kind of feeling that you're just going to take a leap of faith. And that's what I did.
And that became a defining moment where I started sharing it with everyone.
It's life-changing. I mean, it gave me my life back. In one word, it's profound.
A technology that empowers the most basic building blocks of your body to thrive. Asea Redox.
Okay. Did we have any comments to make about that video? That was amazing.
In a very short space of time, they cover some important things. And it just kind of whets our interest so that we can do more of the research. But yeah, I think it's a great video.
Okay. Let's try and get back here to my, let me see if I can pull our guest speaker up here. If I can't, I'm going to go ahead and just introduce him real quick. He is Dr. Larry Cairns. He's a retired physician that is board certified in gynecology and obstetrics and a fellow of the American College of Obstetrics and Gynecology. He was an associate clinical professor at the University of Minnesota. He practiced in Minnesota, Illinois, and was that in Michigan, Dr. Clarence?
Yes.
Yes. And Congo, Africa, in Zaire. He focused on endometriosis and autoimmune gynecology issues and was certified in advanced laparoscopic surgery. Welcome, Dr. Cairns.
Thank you so much, Darleen, and thank you all for being here and for coming to learn something new maybe. And what I want to do is just briefly tell you how I got here. You know, I had the privilege of practicing medicine for about 42 years and delivered about 5,000 babies, every one of them a miracle. And the longer I practiced, the more I became concerned about the ever lengthening list of side effects of the medications that I was prescribing. And even today, you can watch TV and a commercial comes on and it shows children and butterflies and animals and the soundtrack in the background says, could have this side effect in that one and you might even die, but all the beauty and so on in the picture kind of detracts you from that message. But I could tell as time was going on that not everybody had the good effects that I was hoping for. Sometimes there were other side effects that I didn't like. And I became aware that I was missing something that just didn't add up. You know, I like everyone could see that children had fewer chronic conditions, but healed faster from things that an adult would take a lot longer to heal from. everybody was looking for the fountain of youth, of course. But I actually had 3 medical school professors who died while jogging as part of their daily routine. I began to wonder if there was a missing link, not the kind that evolutionary theorists talk about, something between monkeys and humans, but a missing link in the chemistry in our bodies. And of course, I studied biochemistry. I had I'll have to say, a rudimentary understanding of biochemistry, even though I studied it for a full year in medical school. And I kept on writing those prescriptions, highlighting the long list of potential complications and side effects. I had a friend who was an ENT, ear, nose, and throat physician, who used to say he loved being the first human to discover some secret God had locked in our bodies. And he did, with finding information about certain fluids in the inner ear and so on, and wrote some fantastic articles on that. Now, I wasn't the first person to discover redox signaling molecules. I wish I had, but when it was described to me, it was like, this may be the missing link. I was at a convention with my wife, a conference on some business aspects of medicine. And as I was waiting for the music to stop and for the speaker to come on the platform, I noticed one of the latecomers was a couple with a man in a wheelchair being pushed in by what turned out to be his wife. The man had a very stony expression on his face, tremor. Michael J. Fox has this condition, and just totally not connecting with his environment. Later on during a break, I went to talk to the wife and to talk to him, and he just stared through me. He couldn't connect. 4 months later, we went back for the graduate seminar of the same thing. And as I was waiting for the music to stop and the speaker to come on the platform, I saw this same couple come in. This time he was walking, holding his wife's arm, but walked in, sat in a normal chair, took notes, interacted humorously with the people on both sides of him. And I thought, something amazing has happened in his life. So I went back, and he remembered me coming and talking to him 4 months before, but he said, I couldn't respond. I couldn't get out of my head. He did respond, and I said, well, what's happened? He said, well, we can't really talk in this setting about it because it involves a business, and we don't want to be caught trying to recruit somebody, proselytize to our business. But let's go out to supper tonight together. So the 2 couples, my wife and I, and he and his wife, walked 8 blocks to a restaurant at normal pace, sat and talked about this concept of redox signaling molecules. Being a physician, I was a bit skeptical, especially when I learned that these molecules were made from the ingredients that you and I would know to be salt water or saline, and that the molecules are broken apart in a 3-day process, introducing various energy forms that broke apart those molecules and then reconnected them into 16 distinctly different molecules, yet ubiquitous throughout nature. These 16 redox signaling molecules, as we now call them, are in every plant, every animal, every human. And without them, we would not function well. It's been said you can live 3 weeks without food, 3 days without water, 3 minutes without oxygen, but maybe 3 seconds without redox signaling molecules. And so as those were studied, they were found to be not just the exhaust fumes of making energy. By the way, every cell has to make its own energy. There is no generator somewhere in our body that makes energy and sends it out to the cells of our body. every cell is responsible for making their own from the nutrients we take in, particularly glucose and free fatty acids, through a series of chemical reactions that we won't go into in great detail here because they're pretty complex. But without that, our cells can't detect, repair, replace, or rebalance what's going on in cells that are struggling. When these molecules were found, they were thought to be just the exhaust fumes of the process of making energy. And over the last 25 years, we've come to know that these are essential for every function of every cell of our bodies. And the other concept we've learned is that from puberty on, we make about 1% less of these molecules each year of our life. So here I am at 75, I probably am 60% below what should be a normal healthy level for a prepubescent child who heals fast and recovers quickly. With some help from the Lord, I would say, some scientists, including an atomic medical physicist, and there's only 9 of those in the world, were able to extend the life of these very fleeting molecules so that they could be produced in bulk and preserved and used at a later time. And so now we have the blue bottle, the Asea Redox liquid that we drink, helping ourselves from the inside out, and also the gel, Renew 28 gel, that works from the outside in. How this has affected me personally was that when I didn't realize it, but I had actually had a heart attack. There were 3 times that brush had grown over a viewpoint from our house to the river below that we like to look at. And so I would go out and cut the brush down and haul it up the hill, pulling it backwards. And I did kind of short of breath and have pain in my chest. And went in, had a scan, ultrasound, everything looked good, EKG. 2 years later, the brush had overgrown. I cut it down, pulled it up the hill, had a hard time with it. Well, your heart is fine. The 3rd time, they said, oh, you've had a heart attack. There's an area of your heart that is not contracting. It is scar tissue. It is just flopping in the breeze as the rest of the heart is doing its job. 6 years later, I had another scan after I'd been drinking Asea for that length of time. And my heart area of fibrosis or scar tissue had completely reverted to normal contracting muscle. My ejection fraction is normal. Everything is functioning normally there. I no longer need the high blood pressure medications. I don't need the lipid controlling medications. Now, we don't claim that these products heal, diagnose, treat, or prevent any specific medical issues. But whatever cells are struggling for whatever reason in our bodies, when these molecules are replenished, those cells do better. And you can tell by looking at the pictures of Rosie that affected her face to such an extent that we say she looks a lot younger now than when she was 10 years younger. So I've had actually, I think now my count is 17 different health-related issues that I attribute to the use of the redox signaling molecules. I think I'll stop there and open to any questions or however you ladies would like to continue on.
Thank you. That was wonderful. Yeah. Are there any other questions?
I would like to pose this. So I had heard this in a previous Zoom meeting that we had, and as you stated, we lose 1% per year on average. So we're replacing these redox molecules in our body, but say, for instance, if you were to, okay, I'm not going to take him anymore, wouldn't your body revert back to not having enough, and health issues could arise at that point?
Absolutely. I would expect, and I have had a few times, well, just for example, I'm at least fourth generation migraineur. That means a person who has bad headaches, sick headaches, that have the capital letter M in front of them. And I used to get them 3-4 times a week and used to take the medications for those. Since being on Asea, I don't anymore need those medications. I don't get those headaches. But I had a time when I was out and didn't have Asea access for a few days, and I got a headache back. Like, where are my molecules to prevent this? So yes, our mitochondria, which are the little energy producing organelles in our cells that make the redox signaling molecules, those age and don't seem to revert. We have not, that I know of anywhere in the world, been able to enhance those. We do enhance their ability to make glutathione and superoxide dismutase, which are two very important non-plant-based antioxidants that we can only make in our bodies. A lot of people try to administer those in various ways, but those molecules are very big and don't like to pass through the cell wall. So what Crea does is causes those redox signaling molecules to go in and enhance the production of glutathione and superoxide dismutase. But without the worker molecules we call redox signaling molecules, we do revert back to a lower production of those antioxidants and the other processes that we need the redox signaling molecules for detection and repair and replacement of cells that are too far gone. Does that help?
Yeah, that helps a lot. So when you talk about the glutathione, which I know there's a supplement available for that, but you're saying that molecule just can't penetrate that cell because it's so large. Is that correct?
That's my understanding.
It's really our body that needs to produce that.
Whereas all the redox signaling molecules that are in the bottle and that our cells make are very small. Some you'll recognize: hydrogen peroxide, H2O2, not a very big molecule at all compared to glutathione, and HCl, hydrochloric acid, HCO3, which is bleach. Those are specific redox signaling molecules that our bodies use in small amounts. We have learned that hydrogen peroxide is probably not a good thing to put on wounds repetitively, like we used to wash and treat with hydrogen peroxide. It's too strong and it's toxic at a higher level. But at the small amount that's in the redox signaling molecule solution, it's not toxic.
So you're talking about, you showed the Renew 28 gel,
Mm-hmm.
and I know we've used that on various wounds and whatnot. So hand sanitizer is kind of a big thing right now. Does that Renew 28, would that be a cleansing product on your hands as well at that level?
Well, it does have antimicrobial properties, antifungal properties. People who have fungus under their toenails and so on have often said that got better by applying this. So yes, it does have those properties. It was headed down a pathway to be an antimicrobial drug. And the FDA said, your information is looking good for this. What we need now is your LD50, the lethal dose at which 50% of the test animals die. And so they do what they did what you do with pharmaceuticals. You give animals more and more and more until some of them start to die. And you say, at this level, it's lethal. That's the LD50, where 50% of the test animals die. No test animals have ever died being exposed to drinking or having an application of the redox signaling molecules that you and I know as Asea and Renew 28. In fact, they get better. And many sick animals will preferentially drink the Asea liquid, even if there's a container of pure water next to it. They somehow sense that there's something healthy about this. So they went with that data back to the FDA, and it's my understanding that this is a direct quote from the FDA, who said, if you can't kill anything with this, we can't call it a drug. End of deal.
Wow.
$14 million down the tubes, no product available going to the FDA. And that's when Vertus Norton and Tyler Norton and Chris Maston stepped in and said, we're going to buy everything that has to do with this, because there's more to this than we understand. We're going to make this available to people, keep it out of the hands of the pharmacy, big pharma, who would like to shut it down because it's taking a big bite out of their profits. And they could see that was coming. So they turned down a big check in order for you and I to have this available to us and to share with the people we know and love.
Well, Larry, your profession must have been very fulfilling for you in helping all the people that you did. And I hear, we were on a call in the morning, so I hear about some of your people. They see you on the street and you're still wonderful friends. So, but one of the things I've loved is the twinkle in your eye and the enthusiasm as you share about Asea with some of those past patients, with some of your friends that you're meeting along the way. So why do you do that? And tell us a little bit about why that's important to you.
Well, I think I have a moral obligation. I've been given this gift that made such a huge difference in my health. I probably wouldn't be here if that heart attack damage had not been fixed. And I would, if I was, I'd be using all kinds of medications with their side effects. And it's helped me. I feel I have an obligation to pass that on to other people. What they do with that information is totally up to them. I'm not out peddling it, but just 2 days ago, I was at the Honda dealer getting an oil change, and that turned into 3 people learning about this and looking at the videos. What they do with that is totally up to them. But to be able to help people now, I have teams in several countries, and we are in 33 countries, licensed by those equivalents of the FDA to sell these products as supplements. So I'm here just to share it and to let people know that I believe this is a gift God sent our way, and we can share it with others and help people's health.
Are there any other questions? I wanted to just share with a few things at the end, but if people have questions, please ask them.
Because they call Asea a supplement. Is it really a supplement?
No, that's the category that is assigned by the FDA. The FDA doesn't have a category for replenishment. A supplement indicates or has the meaning that you're putting something into the body to boost it beyond what it would normally do, usually some foreign substance. These are molecules that we're replenishing that are bioidentical to what our body needs and makes. So it's not a supplement except in the category the FDA puts it in. They don't know what to do with this. It's a category creator in that, yeah, there's nutrients, there's supplements, and then there's this replenishment stuff we call Asea.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Rhoda.
Well,
Good
as
to
I
see you.
look at the people on this call, I know your stories. And some of you have animal stories. Some of you have personal stories. Some of it's with family members. And we have important information and we are making a difference. And I love that as a team, we're doing it together. You know, Jerry, who is the one who introduced me, and thus we're all part of his team. He looked at it because of health, but what really drove him was that he didn't have any time. He was a physical therapist. He was teaching at the university, building house. His kids were growing up without him. And he saw how important this was, and that he realized that if he shared it, it could become a residual income for him. And with that, I taught his children. So I saw it firsthand, and that he was all of a sudden able to come to school activities. And they were in drama together, putting on plays together. It was a whole different life because this gave him an ability to work more efficiently. So some people are interested in it because of that. For me, I was in my 70s when I discovered it about 9 years ago. And we are hikers, we are kayakers. We love to do things outside and get on the floor and play with the grandkids and great grandkids. And that was becoming more difficult. I was short of breath when I would go up climbing, and especially if we were above 8,000 feet. And it just wasn't fun to do the things that we love doing. And when we carry our Asea, I can do it again. And I don't look in the mirror a lot, but it's fun when people say, like if I go to a doctor's office and they're looking at my age, and they say, what? This just doesn't make sense. So I like that. But more important is how I feel on the inside. And then we just took a trip to Oregon. We have a trailer. It was wonderful spring vacation. The gas was over $500. And it's nice to know that because people have been blessed by Asea, because I've shared with them every week, Asea sends me a check and I could just not have to worry about that $500 extra. I know we are planning on it costing something, but gas is a little high now.
Yeah.
So I guess security is something that has been important to me. So besides the finances and the health, something that's been so valuable and helpful is that company says, believe, belong, and become. So in believing, we are learning more and more about health, about wellness. We are in a society of people who care about it. So we really are on the front edge of what's going on in health. And also believing in ourselves and working together to build up one another and to encourage one another. And some people are part of our team for that reason alone. They really, they want someone else to do the sharing. They just want to learn and live. But then there's some people who see the vision and say, okay, I would like to learn how to share. And because of that, they don't have to do it alone. We're together as a team. And we teach each other and learn together. And I think every day we're getting a little bit better at putting on programs like this and being able to share. So there's lots of information if people are interested. We've got research, science, videos, people who are in the know, medical people that can answer questions. And so I just encourage people who are listening, and for you, Cindy, take a good look at this. It might be something for you. It might be something for your animals. It might be something for someone that you just passed by and is praying for answers. That's one of my favorite things, is to be one of God's messengers. And when people, I got hugs when I taught kindergarten. That was a good thing. But I still get hugs with Asea because, oh, it's just thrilling to see someone who's on oxygen and doesn't need to be on oxygen, to see someone get out of a wheelchair, like the person you were talking about, to see people whose complexion is just not pretty. And I walk down the street and I say, oh, I've got something for you that would make such a difference. I seriously am looking for a new vet. I had a scary experience with my dog. A big German Shepherd, huge German Shepherd, had a problem with his ears. And so he didn't want me to be poking in his ears and putting medicine in and stuff. So we had a very nice man vet come out to our home, and the dog wasn't going to let him touch his ears either. So he administered something to relax the dog, and the dog stopped breathing and his heart stopped. And the dog, he ran out to his car to get something. We give him artificial respiration. I was giving him artificial respiration. The dog lived, but it was the scariest thing. And one of the things, we finally got him to breathe, but his eyes were just not there. And we'd flop him over every 5 minutes to get him in a different shape. I guess that was important. But I was spraying Asea in his mouth, putting it in his ears, any place that I thought his body would react to it. I'm no doctor. I don't know if he would have revived eventually, but I was really glad I had something there that I could do that I think helped him. So, well, thanks everyone for being here. If there's any other questions, otherwise, oh, thank you. We do have one more thing. We've got another slide, because next week on Tuesday night, we are going to have a new person, and I'm not sure if I was supposed to be talking about this or
yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Marian. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I am really excited to be learning more about becoming the best we can be with our new guest speakers, and Jerry will be one of the ones that will be talking. So that is Tuesday night at 7 p.m. And the Zoom idea is a different one than today, so you can be looking at that.
And who's the guest speaker? Is it Marcus?
Marcus Hans. I do not know Marcus. He is a friend of Gloria's, so I'm going to come and learn from him also.
Oh, that's exciting.
Good guy.
I just want to say thank you, Dr. Cairns, and that was a fabulous testimony and a insightful into how the redox molecules do work in our body and the things that happen. So thank you so much for being our guest speaker today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for the opportunity.
And do you know Marcus?
Yes. Yeah.
Can you tell us anything about him?
Well, I guess I know him in that we're on the call together every day, five days a week. And he's very persistent in his desire to share this product and the science with other people. I believe he's a businessman and has an entrepreneurial spirit and a lot to offer.
Okay, we'll learn from him. Thank you. Do you want to stop the recording?